Hi. So I'd like to talk about a place where we might find ourselves in where we are working really hard to make a relationship work. So I'm going to share something from my past that's where I was in a relationship with a man and we were living together and we were kind of clashing and not, fighting, having conflict. And I felt not really fulfilled in the relationship. And so what I decided to do about this was to work really, really hard. I really want to make this relationship work hard. And so I realized on some level, I was holding back things that I was feeling. So maybe he would say something and I would feel hurt, and I saw that I wasn't sharing my true feelings in situations like that. So I decided I'm going to start sharing how I really feel, and with the expectation that it would bring us closer together. And so I would sit down with him and I would share something that happened where I got triggered or I felt hurt. And to my surprise, it didn't have the effect that I hoped it would. I thought it would magically do something. If I'm just honest, then something will happen. And actually, it was having the opposite effect, and it was almost like blowing up in my face. And then we would end up in a very similar place where he would be angry and lose his temper, and I would be hurt and I would be crying. So what I didn't understand, even after the relationship ended, and I look back now and I can see clearly what was going on and why my attempts to make the relationship work, even though, and I tried other things as well too. I was just trying anything I could. The reason nothing worked is because I was so attached to making the relationship work and to bringing us closer together. And I didn't understand how that could be wrong, actually. And now I see why that would sabotage being closer to someone, because there is that fear, right? Attachment and fear are basically the same thing. So I was driven by all these unconscious beliefs and agendas. Besides the attachment, I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid to trust myself. I was actually afraid to stand up for myself. There was all these things going on that hadn't been addressed, that were actually driving my need to work so hard in the relationship. And that was actually probably likely feeling like a burden to him, because I actually wasn't taking full responsibility for myself, that these are my feelings and they're not necessarily caused by him. So I didn't realize there was still like a sense of control and blame happening in this kind of dynamic. And it was good that the relationship ended because neither one of us were ready to take full responsibility for our lives. But now I see that really, if to make any relationship a healthy relationship, and for me, a healthy relationship is not a place where we're always getting along and being blissful, and it means that we grow from the experience and we do our own inner work, and that helps the relationship tremendously. And sometimes that relationship is meant to be let go of. But regardless, it's becomes helpful for us so we can clear things in ourselves that the relationship is helping us see, which that's what I see as the purpose of a relationship, actually. And so now, with my focus on my own inner work, whether I'm in a relationship or not, or what's going on in my life, I can sense when I'm wanting something to happen and there's a lot of tension behind it. And that tells me, okay, there's some fear there. And then helps me see where I need to focus on doing my work. So back then, it was such a different perspective where I was focused on the relationship dynamics itself and the other person. Now I know that everything is to help me know myself and do my own inner work by working through what's going on with myself so I can understand for myself, not for anybody else. So I hope that that was helpful to you in some way. Thank you for watching.